everybody! So today's video is going to be a follow-up video on using Highlift color. I already have a video, actually I have two videos using Highlift, but I did one about a month ago where I used Highlift to brighten my blonde hair, and in that video I said if I was going to be using the natural Highlift on my roots, I would be showing you guys that, which I ended up doing, and this is the result. So I wanted just to do a quick follow-up video on that. So if you have not seen part one on how to brighten blonde hair and your roots using a Highlift, I'm going to leave that link down below, and I encourage you guys to watch that video first because I do explain a little bit more in that video what this method does. So like I said, I only did this method on my roots this time, so I did do it a little bit different. I did end up using the same hair color, except instead of ash I did go with the natural version this time, and I think it turned out really nicely. I did not have to put it through my ends. This was only on my roots. My ends had stayed nice and bright from doing that first brightening treatment or brightening color on my hair. So this was just to brighten up my roots even further. So in that first video I used a Highlift Ash, like I said, with double 20 volume developer. This time around, since I was not putting it on my ends and only was putting it on my roots, I did end up using the Highlift in natural with a double 40 developer, which is actually what Chi recommends with their Highlift colors. So this time around, like I said, I used double 40 volume, and I did it a little bit differently. You can either leave it on your roots at room temperature for 45 minutes, or to get maximum lift they recommend to put it under heat for 15 minutes and then 20 minutes at room temperature after that. So that is the route I took. I put it under heat for 15 minutes and then let it sit at room temperature for 20 minutes, and I think that I did get a better lift on my roots out of that. So I did have a little bit of outgrowth, but I still had some of that artificial color that was there from when I did sort of a subtle root smudge with artificial color, obviously. So my hair pulls warm, and I do know that. So I knew that using natural where I had my outgrowth, I was going to be a bit brassy, which I was sort of fine with just because I did want to, like I said, see what the natural did to my hair. It did lift where the artificial color had been and where I high lifted before. It did lift even further using the natural, and obviously my roots did go a little bit brassy. For me personally, since my hair goes warm, I would usually typically on my virgin hair use an ash, but since I still had artificial color there, I did not want to use an ash. I wanted to use natural to see what that did. So I'm going to have a before picture and an after picture coming up in this next clip, just so you can see that it did definitely lighten my hair even further. So I'm going to show you guys that right now. So in that before picture was the outcome of what the first Highlift did, and then the second one, that is just after I'd used the Highlift before I toned. So you can see that it is quite brassy. I probably could have left it, but my natural hair color actually is really on the ashy side, and even though my hair pulls warm, it's ashy, so I didn't want it to look really stark when it was growing in. Since it was more of a golden blonde that my hair pulled, I didn't want the golden blonde next to my natural ash when it grew in, just because I want it to be a little bit more of a subtle grow out. I did end up toning my hair using the Paul Mitchell XG Shines in 8 Ash with a 5 volume developer, and for the Paul Mitchell XG Shines you use 1 part color and 1.5 parts of the 5 volume developer, and they also have a 10 volume developer, but I always just kind of go for the 5 for my hair. I did apply the Paul Mitchell XG Shines in 8 Ash with the 5 volume as my toner because I was left with a golden blonde in around a level 9 or 8. So I did apply that just on my roots, and I kind of combed it down so there was no harsh lines, and left that on for 25 minutes, then shampooed and conditioned, and then I just blow dried and flat ironed my hair, and then this is the outcome. I don't have any demos for you guys in this video, but I did just apply it the same way I did in my first video, just on my roots, but the only difference is I did not do it to my ends because it was not needed at all. I think my ends are still nice and bright, and all I've been doing to them is just using purple shampoo here and there when I see that it is getting slightly yellow. I think it lifted my roots very nicely. In the first video, like I said, I'm trying to stay away from using bleach on my hair, and if I can get away with just using a Highlift instead of bleach, that is the way I do want to go. Yes, Highlift with double 40 volume can be damaging, but it is less damaging than using straight bleach with, say, a 30 volume, which is probably what I would need on my hair. So this is the way that I would much rather go. So I'm going to be showing you guys a before and after of the whole process at the end of this video. So if you guys want to see more side-by-side pictures, since I did not do a demo this time around, I will be leaving that at the end, so don't forget to check that out. I'll just have a clip at the end of this video after I stop babbling, just so you guys can see the before and then after the Highlift and then after the toner, just because it is quite different. And I'm glad I did the toner because it is not super ashy, but it definitely, I think, blends better than that golden blonde color that was slightly brassy. I'm not a fan of when it's like golden but really shiny. I don't mind golden blonde hair, but when it's really shiny, I just think it looks like it needs to be toned, which is definitely why I did that. I'm not a huge fan of that look. So I think that is all I wanted to say. This is just a follow-up of that first video that I did, and like I said, if you haven't checked that out already, I will leave it linked below so you can do that, and I explain further what this method does and what Highlift is and everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to ask away. It's what I'm here for. I love helping everybody out as much as possible, and I always do reply back because I have the notifications coming through my emails, so it always pops up on my phone when you guys comment on my videos. So I typically can get a hold of you guys within 5 minutes. So I hope this video helped you guys out. If you haven't subscribed and want to see more videos from me, don't forget to do that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.